The consumer movement marks 15th March with World Consumer Rights Day every year as a means of raising global awareness about consumer rights and needs. Celebrating the day is a chance to demand that the rights of all consumers are respected and protected, and to protest against market abuses and social injustices which undermine those rights. World Consumer Rights Day was inspired by the late President John F. Kennedy, JFK, who sent a special message to the United States Congress on the 15th of March 1962, in which he formally addressed the issue of consumer rights. He was the first world leader to do so. The consumer movement first marked that date in 1983 and now uses the day every year to mobilize action on important issues and campaigns. This year's theme is Fair Digital Finance. Ilias Aliyu, the Executive Director of Save the Consumer Initiative, is here. Welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
Now,
happy World Consumer Rights Day.
Yes, happy World Consumer Rights Day, especially now in a world where perhaps customers' rights or even consumer rights are being trampled on and all of that.
True.
Yeah. What do you have to say about today's commemoration as against the theme?
Yes, year in, year out, there's always a theme, but this year focuses on fair digital finance. And as you know, when we say fair digital finance, it's a situation whereby we don't need to go to four-wall banking hall to transact our businesses. It could be at the comfort of your house, buy, sell, transfer, and maybe pay as well. This is the focus of this year. And if you look at Nigeria as a country, we are in global space and we also embark on this transaction. But looking at digital finance in Nigeria, we will notice that there is what we call regulatory gap. In as much as an evolving thing, we also need to look at it and make sure we tame it so as for customers and consumers not to suffer the negative part of this digital finance.
How do you think that consumers in Nigeria can be treated fairly, especially when it comes to digital finance? In fact, on the World's Consumer International website, I think I saw a report there. They said by 2024, digital consumers are expected to exceed 3.6 billion.
Right. And
that in the developing world, access or account holders sending and receiving payments have climbed from 57% in 2014 to 70% in 2017. How do you think that Nigerians can have a fair share? That's the A part of the question. The B part of the question, you said there have been regulatory lapses. You're saying that because of this digital economy it's everywhere around the world right now. Many people will not want to go to banking halls, but on your phone or your device you can transact. And we've also seen a lot of fraud come through that.
Right.
So how do you think that can be addressed?
Well, looking at traditional banking, they are doing well in terms of digital platform, but the challenge is the fintech part of it. And when we say fintech part of it, we have about over 200 payment platforms, and these platforms are not captured very well, even through CBN and NITDA. That's supposed to capture these people. If you look, not quite long now, there's a particular thing that's happening in Nigeria. You just receive a text message that your friend, you mention the person, borrow a particular amount, kindly tell the person. Some will say the person is wanted. Some will say the person is, different names. So it simply means there is a gap, regulatory gap.
And that friend may not know that somebody has given, or how did they even get your information?
The fact is that once you are subscribing to those loans on the app, they ask you that they will take over your SIM details. Yes. So by so doing, they have access to all your contracts. They'll be sending, perhaps some of them even had paid. Maybe you want to pay through their app and you are unable to pay through the app, you go to the normal bank and do transfer. They've not acknowledged it, but they have started telling the whole world. So it's called cyberbullying, whereby someone borrowed just 10,000 naira from you, you didn't follow appropriate channel, then you started, and perhaps they are not even, most of them are not registered. They will register a particular one company name at CAC and have like 10 other loan platform. It could be AL, it could be a different name like that, and they operate like that. And that's why I said we have regulatory channel, and that's how we can tame it. If these people are duly registered, they will follow a particular channel. If at all they want to ask for you to pay, So these are the challenge we are having. That is the negative part of it that we need to look into very well. More so, you know, if you look at central bank very well, their major focus is monetary policy and stability. So if they have issues with managing financial services, they could also create an agency to manage that, because fintech, it has come to stay and it is evolving, it will keep growing. So we need to look at how to tame this negative narrative that we're experiencing in Nigeria.
Are there any positives for us?
A lot of positive, because you know, when you say digital finance, it makes the economy to boom, because people don't need to go to traditional bank or they don't have a delay.
Financial services.
No, financial service.
We shouldn't just be boxed into saying banking alone. I know that banking has taken over.
No,
but what I mean, financial services.
Right, like insurance,
you should be able to buy
exactly.
Online
every other thing that has to do with payment platform. So there's a lot of benefit, because it makes the economy boom, and we have more transaction here and there, and that's positive for the GDP as well.
What do you think about the regulator that is in charge of protecting consumer rights in the country? FCCPC. Yes. FCCPC.
Right.
Yes.
Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council. If you look, last week they were everywhere in Lagos trying to arrest companies that are not registered and operating loan services platform.
We've seen a lot of this.
A lot of them, they are doing well, but the fact remains that we cannot all rely on the federal government to do this. State need to have consumer protection agency. Local government also need to look at that, because people at grassroots suffer this more compared to national. And also, if you look at even FCCPC, what is the capacity, you know, of what they are doing? So what I would say is that the regulatory body in charge of all these things should do it. But when we talk about fintech, I'm still of the opinion that there should be a particular agency that will focus on that area. NITDA, CBN, they are managing it, but there should be an agency that will marry the two, financial services and
a government agency.
A government agency. I think that will be fine.
Another
I think that's because it's do you know what? If anyone suffered digital fraud, it's not only one person.
But there's a department in the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Right.
Yes, that Consumer Protection Department that's in charge of that. If, let's say, you, for example, you have issues with debit alert and all of that, you can email them and they get in touch with the bank.
That is reactive. We need to be proactive. There should be a system that will not even allow these people to operate in such manner.
Okay, so why not enhance the department
well,
to CBN instead of creating another bureaucracy?
Well, for me, I think they have more in their hands.
And there's FCCPC as a government agency.
So
whether it should be given more things.
FCCPC also is more of a reactive in this case. They are arresting people that have defrauded, cyberbullied, and do a lot of things for people already. So someone should be there that you must come and register, and regulatory details will be there for you, so that you follow this thing into before you can embark on it.
I also do think for Nigerians are also a bit gullible, because there was a colleague of mine that asked me a question last week. He said, Nancy, please, I need your help on this. I said, what is this, sir? He told me, he said he's been getting messages that he should come and take this loan of 50,000, 100,000 with
even
a phone number. I
banks
told him not to answer and not to send a message. You know, so a lot of Nigerians are gullible, you know, and a lot of Nigerians see that. But it's also, as a matter of fact, to check your information. Just like you said earlier, it is not enough for a company to tell you that it is registered in CAC to collect your money. You have a SEC, you have a Central Bank of Nigeria that would ensure that company or so is licensed to take your money, or is even registered on SEC, and you've got to find these things out.
Any country that poverty is abound, people will definitely want to get money. Please take note. Most people go as low as borrowing 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 on this platform. And funny thing is that it could be 5% interest on it, and it's grow day by day. So in the long run, if you default, because of your 5,000 naira that you borrowed, the whole world will be receiving your text. ABC is owing us, and please, in fact, they use different, and another thing that we need to also look at, they share your privacy with third party. This third party will start calling you and calling others and telling you that you are wanted. That's the language they use now. You are wanted, is a common criminal, you must get it. So somebody must regulate the process of you even getting your loan, the loan you give out back. Federal government at the higher level has AMCON, you know, that will do this. So there should be a little one that will manage such thing, not that you'll be bullying everybody all around.
Okay, I think we'll look at this on another edition in terms of the, the surge
Right.
in this around what we've just discussed. Yes, around what we've just discussed. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having
Today's
me.
edition
Thank
of
you.
the program. We've been looking at World Consumer Rights Day. Fair digital finance is the theme for today. As a customer, shine your eye. As a consumer,
Shine your eye.
It's not everywhere. They also say, come take money. There you go and take money before you get hooked and send